things seem to be in this weird time warp. The other day I was walking through the grocery store and I was there with my husband, Pat, my beautiful daughter, who was fortunately asleep at the time. There's 2 states with the baby. They're asleep, in which case everyone's like, oh, what a cute baby. And you're like, oh no, I made it myself. Otherwise, the baby's screaming and everyone's like, ooh, never leave your house again. We hate you. So it was a good thing she was asleep. But we were walking through the grocery store and I saw Sonic the Hedgehog stickers. And then we kept walking and there was like Minecraft books and we kept walking. And I was like, I see all these brands everywhere, but it's a time warp. It's a weird time warp because I swear to God, not just 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you walk through the grocery store and it would be the same dang brands, the same things. Minecraft, Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, it's like what is going on with creativity? Is it just gone forever now? Someone created something 1 million years ago and we're like, let's just make sequel 7 million and let's just keep going with it because there's very few new things around now. It's the same shit. And you see these like videos like how to make you feel old. Did you know that this came out 7 million years ago? The first Harry Potter movie came out at the same time that people back then were talking about the first Star Wars movie coming out. The difference in time is the same, or whatever it is. There's all these things like how to make you feel old. It's like, yes, but. This is where it doesn't work quite as well because nothing else has come out since. You know what I mean? Nothing else, there hasn't been a replacement of the pop culture. There's been a perpetuation of the same shit. The same shit. I mean, like, it's like a cat took a dump and no one cleaned it. They just let the cat go and keep adding to that turd. I don't know what, we'll drop the shit analogy, but it is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Simpsons, 40th season now. And that's what you keep getting. You keep getting sequels. Patrick and I were checking out movie trailers, and they're remaking all these Disney films that were once animated into, real life action versions. Same things. They're making a sequel to Back to the Future. That already had sequels. They're making another sequel. Ghostbusters, more sequels. Everything is sequels. That's what it is. It's all sequels. Very, very few new original concepts. And the ones that are original concepts, like if you blur your eyes a little, they're basically the same as some other film. That's it. They're basically the same as some other film. The original Transformers cartoon turned 40 last year. And you know what? It's just as relevant now as it was then. And it's kind of odd. It's kind of odd. And okay, Back to the Future, that trailer, maybe it's not actually real. This is the other thing. Maybe it's not actually real. You know what has more views than most real trailers? AI trailers. Have you seen this phenomena on the YouTubes? AI trailers. People are making trailers with AI, or at least like cut together bits of old movies for the 9,000th Harry Potter film coming to cinemas near you. You know, Simpsons, a live-action remake, and these are the celebrities we'd cast. Things like that are getting more views than actual trailers right now. And it's the same stuff, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference because, you know, there probably is going to be a sequel. It probably is sequel number 8 million of the same property that we've seen 1 billion times. It's like you're going to look back and you're going to be like, what was the contribution of the last 25 years? It was sequels. That's what we managed. Sequels and that one like TikTok dance where they like, you know, do the flappy ass thing and this. That's it. That's what we managed. That's what we managed. Gen Z, applaud yourselves. Good job. Sequels. That's what you managed. Oy. Oh, at least they got sequels. Looks like the next generation may have no films whatsoever. It's AI generations. That's all. Generations. Gen Z, Gen AI. I am ranting. I am ranting. Because it's one of those things that it's kind of hard to deny. You know, when I was growing up, I'm old. I'm an ancient. Ancient! Didn't you hear? Women are old as soon as they hit 23. After that point, you're too old. Started with 30, then it dropped to 25. Now it's dropped to 23. If you're over 23, you're old. That's what I heard online. So I'm ancient. Ancient. These numbers keep going the opposite direction to my age. But because I'm ancient, dead, fossilized, in the atmosphere, burnt off as fuel by some billionaire, I can remember a time where there were new properties and people were excited for them. People were like, what would this story be about? And they would come out, a new Pixar film would come out, and you'd watch it, not because, you know, it's a sequel of something you watch 7 million times because it's sequel number 7 million, but because it's by Pixar, and we know the Pixar's pretty good. Or you'd watch a superhero film, and you'd be like, these are usually pretty good, so let's check it out. I've never heard of this superhero, but it's probably going to be pretty good, and it was. And you'd see new things. And that's just not happening now. And I understand it. I understand it. We live in a world run by accountants. And it's about time that Gerald got the acknowledgement that he deserves for the hard work he did in business school, balancing the books. And right now it's high risk to make something that's not a sequel. Because, you know, the audience has to use more than 2 brain cells, and it's often a little bit much for some of them. It's a little bit much to digest a new concept. So let's just put the same one that they're already familiar with into slightly different packaging, and that should appeal to the masses. And Gerald is there being like, yes, this is a good idea. I like Excel. At night, I make pivot tables for fun. You know, and Gerald is running this, and everyone's running with it. And that's what's happened. I feel sorry for, you know, Gen Z when they grow older, and they're like, so what defined your generation? And they'll be like, we wore low-rise jeans again. Yeah, but that's again. People did that in the past. Well, we had our movies, sequel number 7 million. Okay, yeah. What famous musicians were there? What artists were the most popular ones? Oh, there was Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish. Yes, those people were famous 10 years ago. I'm speaking about your generation, our generation. We just kept listening to the same ones. Yeah, we just kept listening to the same ones. But now we did it in low-rise jeans again. After we finished the sequel of Harry Potter 7000, and we were sitting in the car. Yeah, that's the one. If you listen to the radio, the modern radio, this is current radio, they are still playing songs from the 90s and the 2000s. Because it seems that the music industry is so fractured. It's so fractured that nothing is becoming ubiquitous. You know when songs were ubiquitous? It's like everyone and their neighbor and their dog and their goldfish knew this song whether they wanted to or not. That was ubiquitous, right? You'd have all these artists that are ubiquitous, and people would all have their opinions on the various artists of the time. I mean, it's debatable how ethical all of this was and all of that. You know, the music industry has always been a cesspool, but there would be some sort of level of ubiquity. People would all know what the current popular people are. Why is that not a thing now? Because it's fractured. And some people in their echo chambers might be like, but everyone knows about Sabrina Carpenter. It's like, no, just the people in your echo chamber know that. There's probably a few people in chat right now who've never heard that name before. So it's one of those things where it's like, you're not getting that ubiquitous level of musician. And the ones that are ubiquitous, mostly, in large part, were ubiquitous not even 5 years ago. Not even 10 years ago. Not even 15 years ago. They were ubiquitous 20 years ago. They've been around for such a long time now. They got famous when they were teenagers, and they are still famous now. They're having to get plastic surgeries to keep up with the times. This is their 7th facelift. Avril Lavigne is actually 900 years old, but she's still one of the only people that people can recognize. So she has to go book in the plastic surgeon and say, look, I need facelift 3 million because my record company is going to make me make the sequel album 8 million. Complicated. 7.0. I was a skater girl. I said, see you later, girl. I need to get my hip replacement now. Like, it's getting really difficult to define this generation, to define even not just this generation, but the previous 15, 20 years with something that's uniquely theirs. It's really just TikTok and social media, I suppose. Vapes, maybe. That's it, really. But even those are sequels. Even that's a sequel. TikTok is a sequel. It's a sequel to Musical.ly and a sequel to, what was the one that came before that? I don't remember. Brain rips. Oh, Vine. And what was Vine a sequel to? Vine was a sequel to Twitter. These are all sequels. It all started from MySpace. All of the social media is a sequel. Social media is a sequel. Vapes are a sequel. They're a sequel to cigarettes. They smell a bit better, so that's nice. But, they're also illegal in Australia, so I guess you got to go back to the classic now. Classic emphysema. But it's all sequels. TikTok bores you. Well, it's the current thing, I guess. But even on TikTok, bloody oath, even on TikTok, you see the resurgence of old songs. Even then, and I guess that's just a symptom of the fact that you have to make a new 10-second video every 10 seconds to remain relevant on that platform. And you kind of run out of the time to come up with a new original concept of one of high quality and substance. So you got to dig into the records of the past. It's a bit weird. And this leads to it all goes back to Beowulf, of course. Yes, indeed. This leads to my confusion as to why it hasn't fallen apart yet. Why has it not fallen apart yet? I feel like maybe even 5 years ago. So it was half a century ago. 5 years is a while. That's a while. 5 years is enough time for not only a baby to be born, but for them to start walking around like little humans and possibly having a higher IQ than some of the politicians that run this entire planet. 5 years is a while. It's a while. In the last half a century, I think people have been aware that social media is a pyramid scheme and an MLM. I think people know this now. I think people have exposed social media enough. People have been burnt out and left social media. They've come back and they've left. But people are kind of aware now at this point that it's a pyramid scheme. And it's just very flat. It's a pyramid scheme, just a very flat pyramid. Jeff Bezos at the top and pretty much everyone else at the bottom. A social media pyramid scheme. So people are kind of aware of this. Why is it still kind of the same? What is going on? Why hasn't this been sorted out now? Can we move on to the next phase, please? Oh, that's right. We don't know how to do that anymore. We don't know how to come up with original concepts anymore. We can't come up with the sequel to this. Too difficult. Oh, Lordy. We're stuck now. There's this beautiful article that came out the other day. Let me link it in chat. And it's human intelligence is declining, a sharp decline. And this is a legitimate trend that has been measured. Humans as a whole are getting stupider. Go us. Yes, go us. I guess there's our answer. Are we going to ever come up with another original concept again? Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. As someone who works in customer service can confirm. Daughter of Q. I don't know. Well, there you are. There's that link. I should put that link into the description of the YouTube snippet I'll make of this rant that will go onto the social media pyramid scheme of YouTube and probably never be noticed. But yeah, it's just odd to me. It's very odd to me that we haven't come up with something that's really uniquely of the time. And it's sad. It's really sad. We're still just getting nostalgia pieces about, things from when people like me were kids. Or even earlier. That's it. Like, I remember as a kid playing things like Spyro, and it was the first time it came out, or Croc on the PlayStation, and that was so exciting. And you're still getting that. You're still getting merch for that. It's just that still. It's the same Pixar films. It's the same Disney films still. If you're watching right now, anyone, hear my plea. Hear my plea. Plus. No more sequels. No more AI sequels. Plus something new. Something new. So when people look back at this time and this era, they can be like, they came up with this cool thing. They had these weird outfits. The home decor looked like this. There was something about this time that had a personality and a substance to it that was enduring. That would be nice. That would be nice. And you can do it. Because apparently the human intelligence as a whole is declining. So if, you made it this far and you're able to comprehend it, you're probably high above the median. High above the median. Good job.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell because clicking things is fun. If you want to see the full versions of these Twitch streams, then you can on my channel, twitch.tv/MaryAmber. And if you want to catch VODs, if you've missed streams, then check out my Patreon, Ninja Club, patreon.com/MaryAmber.